Hi friends, Dafydd here from Terrain-Tronics. I'm here in the awesome workshop of Jim, the tabletop engineer, and we've been collaborating on something really cool to bring up your game of HeroQuest into the new millennium. What you see here in front of me is a table that's shaped like a tomb, a book, that can take the entire traditional HeroQuest board, but also has the ability to add sound and light and so on cards like spell cards or action cards that players and Zargon the DM can also
Bloodthirsty
I'm sat in the lab here with Jim, the tabletop engineer, my friend and collaborator on this epic project.
The lab, the messy workshop of Jim, the tabletop engineer. Hey everybody, it's Jim, the tabletop engineer.
So yeah, we're here. We're gonna have a bit of a Q&A session here. Let you guys know, where our minds were when we were developing this. We demoed it first at Mythicon this weekend. Jim, why don't you? I'm going to show some video as we talk here, showing the outside of the book, of the tomb, if you will.
About 4 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, I get a call from Dafydd. Hey, you got a minute to talk? Yeah. What do you need? And I should have known not to answer that call. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Dafydd had this idea. He had found some new electronics project, which is his ball of wax. He just said, let's come up with some ideas for how we could implement these. We just back and forth for a while, and I think eventually we came to the game HeroQuest, because you had played it recently, and I was starting to play it. And so I think that's how we fell onto HeroQuest. So once we picked the game, then we really started talking about what would we want in a HeroQuest interactive type game. And when you say interactive, Dafydd was telling me some of the things he could do with lighting and sound effects and stuff like that. What you see here is sort of the final result. Found a treasure?
The key to all this technology are the card readers. These are hotel room style cards. And so by having 4 of them around the table, a Zargon can trigger some, players can trigger some. If I want to throw the genie spell, I tap it down and it creates a lightning effect around the table and so on. So then we went back and forth thinking of all the sound effects and all the lights, and frankly, the list keeps on growing.
So Zargon, I'm playing Zargon right now to your player. One of the things you do a lot in this game is you open a door. And when you open the door, you don't know what's on the other side. It could be nothing. It could be a monster.
So nasty.
That'll wake the players up.
Yeah, it will wake the players up. And what we give each of the players as well, for instance, is a card for when they want to do an action. So when the barbarian wants to, go in, all hands flame. And it really brings people together, right? People are, standing up around the table, shaking their arms as they do it and so on.
They were laughing.
They were laughing, right? It's a great excuse to ham things up a little.
Now, I will say, when we demoed the game, one of the things I really liked playing Zargon was when the player would do a search or something like that. I had time to look for my card and decide, am I going to give them a treasure here, or am I? Now, I should say that you can run the campaigns as they are in the game, but when I was running it, I was just free play. I was deciding on the fly, which monster would be in a room and whether or not there'd be treasure. Before y'all would go in, I'd say, I'll give them 2 treasures in that room if you search twice.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing, the players finally figured it out that, once they got the wah-wah sound for the search, now, there was no point in searching anymore. They'd exhausted the number of treasures in that room. Now, listen, I don't want us to forget to say this. All these sounds are customizable. You can change them and make them your own. And
there's a custom circuit board in this board, under the playboard, that has a little SD card, just like you have in your cameras and so on, that you can record different sounds to. So if you don't like our choices...
The lights and the sound, fully customizable.
Yeah.
Obviously, the board, in this prototype, we have a certain size... The board could be smaller than this, but it can't be any bigger than this. So there's a lot of...
I think Space Crusade was the same size.
I think it was. I don't know that for a fact. So the question I have is, if I want to make one of these for myself, how hard is it going to be to run it or to turn it on or use it? What is it? Does it?
So all the code that's used is based on something called Arduino.
I've heard of Arduino.
Arduino, right?
Yeah.
Very popular in the hobby space. Lots of tutorials online, and I make all that code freely available. I don't hide it. It's called open source. It's downloadable. So if somebody wanted to make their own and had the skills to do so, they have carte blanche.
Okay.
What we're hoping to do, and what we need your feedback on, is if we create the cases, if we do the electronics for you, to find that lovely space where it's a nice luxury item.
But what we really are in need of is lots of feedback. We want to know, is this something HeroQuest players would use? Is there something missing that we forgot to add? I know for me, whenever I am working on something, I need feedback. So we definitely want to. This is like prototype, not even version 1. This is version 0.2 or something. So we know we've got a lot of work here. So we want you to understand this isn't something that you're going to be able to go get right now. We're still no. This is not ready for prime time yet. I've already, just from feedback from people and playing it and talking to people, there's already things I know I want to do with the container to make it more sturdy or more,
durable.
Because we had a few things, that got a little loose. And the first thing that I thought of was, I'm not using, I want to use wood glue as little as possible. I want to use connections and insertions and notches and stuff like that. So there's a lot of ways I've already thought of to improve it. And but I'm just one person. I need feedback.
Right.
Bloodthirsty.
From an electronics perspective, we already talked about Zargon really needs a control panel with arcade buttons.
Yeah. Having cards is all fine and stuff, but I like to work behind the screen here.
Yeah.
And so when I move a card over, I don't want them to even get a hint.
I saw that this weekend.
They're watching your card?
They're watching my card.
They're watching what card you grabbed.
Yeah, exactly. And seeing if it's like a success or a failure.
Yeah, so what you were pitching, and I think is a great idea, is some little a little control panel with buttons.
Yeah.
And
like a kidney bean shaped little thing.
And Zargon just says, they search for treasure. No. Monster, and you get the sound effect and lighting and stuff like that. So that's a great, I definitely, as Zargon, I'm all for that.
Stop! Hammer time!
As an older gamer, I find moving minis, I find the game board very nostalgic, and the sound and the lighting doesn't take anything away from the original game for me. Just makes it a little more fun. So I definitely want to hear from people as to, is this something that would enhance your game? Would you enjoy playing on something like this with lights and sound and versus just the regular old board and cards and stuff like that?
And I have a 13-year-old at home, Fortnite addicted, iPad screens addicted, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff, you could have 3, middle schoolers, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, they would be roaring having fun at this.
Yeah.
And slapping cards down on the card readers and, gesturing to each other as you play and so on.
I can totally see a parent who wants to play HeroQuest with their kids. This would be another way to get them to the table. What is that? Oh, you'll find out. Because what kid, what 7 or 8-year-old doesn't want to drink a potion? I don't know. We had fun. You know what? We had fun doing this. I know I had fun. I think we had the most fun. Thursday night, you arrived.
Yeah.
And I had just all the parts sort of cut out. I not much was assembled other than the covers.
Yeah.
And everything was stained and stuff like that. But you and I, you were sitting there, we were getting in each other's way. At some point, you needed to mount some electronics, and I'm trying to mount the lighting holder, and it was fun. And I always enjoyed working on projects when I was in engineering school.
It's been a real fun collaboration.
It was very fun. And let me tell you something, we've got more ideas, and we're already talking about, this will be an ongoing thing for us, but we're already talking about, what's going to be our next project that we work on together. This one was fun. This one was really good. Any closing thoughts on?
No,
on
I'm
the,
just
on the
excited
board?
to see this through. Right, we need the feedback. I really hope people see value in it, and they see it as a positive addition to their game. We're not trying to take anything away from anyone or the experience. Yeah. It's just a bit of fun to bring the whole family in, and everyone laughs and enjoys, and you have serious sound effects, and then you have silly ones. And you can change them if you
can totally change them.
If you only want a serious game, go ahead.
Thanks for, first of all, I've never really thanked you for bringing me in on this project. I did not know what I was going to be able to offer, because when you started talking electronics, I'm like, whoa.
Well, these little sliding kind of card holders are lovely, right? That mechanics of it,
Yeah.
I love that, right?
Yeah.
And all the players, when they sit down, when they don't know what's going on, they see the little nubbin.
Yeah. Oh, you like that?
What's this? What's that?
Well, when you want to pull something out, nothing beats a little knob there. But the funny thing is, the engineer in me, I'm always wanting to improve things, and I'm already thinking of 2 different ways I could make this better, and make the hinges better, and stuff like that. So at some point, you got to stop and say, okay, this is what it is.
Let's get some feedback.
So let's do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn to you and ask you one more time. Give us some feedback.
Link below. Thanks,
below.
folks. You've seen the effects now, and I'm sure all of you have opinions and so on. You're welcome to leave comments below in the video, but also there's a link below to a Google form where you can leave your email and really give us a lot more feedback. Jim and I are very eager to gather your ideas on how we could improve such a table, what kind of effects would you like to see, and so on. And if there's another game that you play, Kill Team or some other game, let us know. I really want to learn more about what would make this really interesting to way more people. All right, folks. Thank you very much. See you next time.